I see we have somebody on board. Say hi. 2 people on board. Who are we? Hey, Phil. I'm going to be speaking a little bit quietly, so I'm going to move the mic next to my mouth. My family are asleep and I don't want to wake them up, so I hope it comes through okay. How's everybody this evening? Oh, well, the second person's decided to go. What's news, Phil? What you getting up to? I'm going to light up this Savinelli 606 Cumberland stem. And inside it, we have some McClelland's 40th anniversary. No, so you're off. You're going to desert me as well, are you, Phil? Well, I wanted to do a live pipe reveal, a new pipe I got yesterday. And also a lovely little gift which I got from somebody, which I wanted to show as well. But I was hoping we'll get some more people on board. It's a bit impromptu. I did a 4-minute live session earlier on. Cool. I was out in the car actually earlier on, and I tried to do a live session then, but it didn't work. It was a lot of dropping in and out of the signal, so I cut it short and I've taken it down since. Now I'm back on terra firma, so to speak. I figured I'll give it another go. So I can see somebody else has joined us. Who else is on besides for Phil? Reveal yourself. 3 people watching. Say hi. I've just lit up this Savinelli 606, and I've got some 40th anniversary McClelland's. Hey, how are you doing, Passion? It's Mark, isn't it, your name, if I remember correctly? How are you doing? I got your order. I'll be getting to those in the next day or two. I've been off for a couple of days, but I will update everybody in the next day or two. So thanks very much for that. I'm currently smoking my Savinelli 606. I'm smoking some 40th anniversary from McClelland's. Very tasty indeed. Who else is on board? I can see there's 6 people watching now. Say hi. Identify yourselves. Hey Marty, how you doing? Well, as I was mentioning earlier to Phil, um, I've got a new pipe which I'm going to reveal soon, and I got a gift from somebody else. And I was, rather than doing a video, I just thought I'd do it live and then leave it up so people can see it. So perhaps I'll see in a minute or two if there's more people coming on board, and then I'll just do it. So I think I'll just get on with it. So I'm not intending to stay on too long tonight. So this pipe is a Northern Briars, and at the moment, many of you, if you're following me, you'll know that I've had a bit of a cooling down on pipe purchases. In fact, I've been selling pipes, tobacco, cigars, or to help go towards my daughter's wedding expenses. So you might find it unusual that I'd be getting a new Northern Briars pipe. But the reality is, I actually ordered this back in November 2017. That's how long it's taking at the moment. So that's, hey Roondog, how you doing? Kevin. So it's taken 4 months to get this pipe from Ian Walker, Northern Briars. So before I do that, I was doing a little bit of a trade with Tree, Pipe Tree, and a non-pipe related, well, semi kind of pipe related. Anyway, he sent me whatever it was he was sending me, and he also sent me this. He made this a handmade tamper, and it's got BPR UK on it, which is very cool. I love the rustic look of it, and I've just used it now for the first time, and it's fantastic. I'm over the moon with it. You know, some people, a lot of times, they send gifts. It's always very much appreciated, but it always goes up another level when somebody makes something by hand and spends time and gives you, you know, part of their themselves, if you like, in a gift. I think that's great. Hi, Pipe and Spirit. I was just showing this tamper which Tree made for me, Pipe Tree, which is very, very cool. Hey James. Jim, I've been on for about 9 minutes now. You haven't missed much. I was just showing this tamper which Tree sent me, very, very cool, and I wanted to do a pipe reveal. So as I was saying, the pipe I ordered back in November last year from Ian Walker, Northern Briars, and it arrived. He said he'd make it in time for my birthday, which was earlier today, on the 7th. It's now tomorrow, obviously it's Sunday now, but it was on Saturday. And at the time he said, I'll get it to you in time for your birthday, and it arrived on Friday. So it arrived on the 6th, and my birthday was on the 7th. So I figured rather than doing a Yabo, I'll just do it live, do a live Yabo. Just thought it'd be nice thing to do. I did a live feed earlier on this evening and had a lot of trouble with the reception because I was outside doing it from the car. So I figured when I get back indoors, if I have the time, I'll do a short live stream. So here we go. Happy birthday to your son. Cool. Thank you, Pipes and Spirits. So this is a Northern Briars Jade Cumberland stem. There we go. This is a Calabash by Ian Walker, Northern Briars, sterling silver band, briar ring, and of course it's a 9mm, custom made for me, as I'm only smoking 9mm at the moment. And originally I thought it was going to have a smooth top, but in actual fact, because it's all sandblasted, it makes sense. And it'll also mean that that will stay, the charring won't make too much of a difference. That's always a worry when you have a smooth pipe, that you're going to char the rim. So it's got its pluses and minuses, obviously. Thank you very much, Pipes and Spirits. Really nice chin hugger. It's really lightweight as well, actually. Let's give it a weigh and see how much it weighs. "56 grams, so with about 1 3/4 ounces, which is very good. And because of the shape, it will be very comfortable. Yes, Mark, 100% right. The ones that I'm selling really are the non-filtered ones. I'm not selling them just for the hell of it. Well, it's a Northern Briars, and he calls this the Regal Rocks Cut. So it's not, I mean, it's a sandblast, but it's not quite, it is sandblasted, but it's not quite, you haven't got the ring grain or anything like that. I guess it really depends on what type of grain he comes up against. I mean, I do have some, I think I've got a decent sandblasted one from Ian. I did have. If you guys saw in my previous pipe sale, I had a Helix, the one with the spiral stem. That one had an awesome ring grain on it. But his rocks tends to be like the pebble cut on the Ashton pipes, similar kind of thing. I love a Cumberland stem. I'm a sucker for a Cumberland stem. I order them from Ian. They've always got, this is a jade Cumberland stem. It's a proper Cumberland stem. You can see here the recent Dunhill that I got, it's a Cumberland stem. And generally speaking, any pipes that I order custom will always have a Cumberland stem on them. It's the most comfortable material for me anyway. Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm the same. I really don't enjoy that much acrylic stems, although they're very prolific nowadays, and they do come up with some beautiful designs. I'm just not a big fan. It's a really hard kind of material. I just find the Cumberland stems just feel softer. I think it's down to the density. It's a very brittle material, acrylic, so there's no give, there's no bounce in it, if you like. You take I don't mean physical bounce, but there is some elasticity in it, and in the actual, there's some kind of, I can't really describe it, but when you put it in your mouth, it just feels softer. I meant to ask actually, if any of you know, I've been enjoying, when I'm breaking in a new pipe, I've been enjoying more pipes which I've started off with a naked bowl. If I receive a new pipe which has got a coating on it, what's the best way to take it down to a naked bowl? I mean, obviously I can sandpaper it, but I know some people just use alcohol or something like that and take it down to a naked bowl. But what's in your experience? What's the best way to do that? Any of you guys got experience with that? What I've been doing is um, from the naked bowl I coat it with honey, leave it overnight, and I don't know. I just seem to find that it smokes nicer with that start off, with that method of breaking in the pipe. You know, Mark, because I've tried Burley's quite a few times. I've got a selection of Burley's from LJ Peretti's, but so far hasn't worked. I've got a few Burley Forward blends which came from James. Was that you, wasn't it? You sent me a Haunted Bookshop. Jim? Yeah, I haven't tried it. So I got those samples from important samples from Jim, very generous helpings. And I got a bunch of small samples from Phil, Max Northwest. Yeah, I will do. I'll definitely do a video on that on the Semois. That's Belgian grown stuff, isn't it? Is it a straight tobacco, or is there any kind of casing or flavouring on the Semois? Yes, that's right. That's how we came to it, didn't we? We were talking about cigar replacement tobaccos. Oops, drop the mic. One sec. There we go. Anyway, I was hoping that Tree would come on. He came on earlier on, but the live feed that I did before was really not very successful. Cheers, Jim. See you in a minute. And the signal kept on dropping out, so I just knocked that one on the head. I've come back in now. That one I did from the car, and the reception wasn't good. So I was hoping that Tree would come back on, so I could thank him personally for this lovely tamper that he made. Really very nice of him. Mark, you're up in, is it Newcastle you're in? You're up around the area, aren't you, Mark? All right. Well, the reason why I asked you is because I know in certain parts around there you've got the Coronation Street type houses where you've got 2 rows of houses and an alleyway in between. Well, I've got that round the back of my house. Thanks, Moon Dog. And it's very awkward because I've got a garage at the back of my garden. And lots of people have got garages in the back of theirs, the people that are back to back with me and my neighbours. And people are just so irresponsible. They just use the alleyway for dumping stuff. So this evening, I was going to sit round the back behind my garage in my car and utilise my Wi-Fi connection. And I was going to do a live from the car, which I did start, but I had to stop it because the reception was bad. But I was trying to drive into the alleyway, and some of the neighbours opposite had built a fence around their garden, which is absolutely fine. But instead of putting because there was a bit of a raised step to go into their garden, they put a couple of breeze blocks on the floor to sort of make a makeshift step. But that makeshift step was actually in the actual alleyway, which meant that if you tried to get past with your car had to get over those breeze blocks, which was, I couldn't do that. I had to get out of my car and shift those breeze blocks. Just thought people sometimes can be really inconsiderate. So that was that. Anyway, I moved those and tried to do the live feed, but didn't. Sorry about that. I've been having a lot of trouble with my I probably did, as I say, in the next day or two, Mark, I'll be going through. I had a big response from that vintage tobacco sale, and I've been off for a couple of days, as I mentioned, so I will get to you in the next day or two. If you sent me an email, I'm sure I got it, but once I read it, I will reply and confirm. Ah, Phil, how you doing? What pipe is that, Jim? Well, I'll guess from the name that it's Italian. I've not heard that name before. Il Duca. Just had a quick look at the website. There's nothing available there at the moment. Is he a high-end Chuchimbra? How you doing from St. Louis, Missouri? Is that Mo? Is that Missouri? Well, at the moment, as I mentioned earlier on, I'm smoking my Savinelli 606, the Cumberland stem, and I was just showing a gift which I got from Pipe Tree, and he made this himself, obviously, which is very cool. I find these the most precious gifts when people, spend some time making something themselves. I've been using it this evening. It works great. And I also opened this pipe from Northern Briars, a very nice calabash pipe, 9mm as well. And I'm looking forward to breaking that in. I was asking before if anybody knew the best way to take that back to the naked bowl. It's got a little bit of a carbonization there, but these days I tend to prefer to break in a pipe from a naked bowl. Yeah, exactly. It's got a really nice rustic look, and the cap. I assume it's like a plumbing or some kind of sort of stop end, a pipe stop end, but it's perfect. He stained it like a purple color, but it's perfect for tamping. It's got a nice flat edge to it, which is good. Any of you guys in America come across Lewis pipes? Well, the reason why is because, Phil, is what I've been doing recently with naked bowls is, I've mentioned this before, is coating the bowl with honey, letting that dry, and then smoking. And for me, it just seems to work very well. It aids a very fast, at least the initial layer of cake build-up. And it just seems to have worked for me the last couple of pipes that I've done that way. Especially with the London Fog and with Virginias, it just seems to work very well. What I'm finding is that when you get a bowl which is pre-carbonized, it kind of acts as a little bit of a buffer between you and the briar, between the tobacco and the briar. Yes, that's the Lewis pipes that Babyface Huey did. Yeah, I could sand it. I mean, I could do that by hand, but I've found that honey works. The reason why I ask is because I've heard some people talking about just cleaning it out with either water or alcohol, and it just comes right off. But I'm not sure. I mean, sanding will be obviously a surefire way of doing it. So after seeing Babyface Huey's video, I went over to the website, and I really like the look of of their pipes. It's got a really traditional feel about them. So I sent them an email to ask them if they would do some in 9mm, and they said that they would. So I'm just curious to know if anybody's had any interaction with them. AAUK, Pipeman 1958. Send me an email, and you may have already. As I was mentioning earlier, I will get to 100% spirits. Yeah, okay. Will that not give a bit of a flavour to the briar? If you send me an email, I'll respond to you with a full price list, which I've got to update in terms of what's sold and what's not, but I will do that in the next day or two. I've been off for a couple of days. AA UK, hi, how are you? Whereabouts in the UK are you? Dwarven Piper, we're doing very well, thank you for joining. How are you? Oh, cool. Very good. What are you smoking in it? Dwarven? Yes, a lovely pipe actually, that one. If that would have been convertible to 9mm, I would have kept that. Lovely, lovely grain on that pipe, lovely shape. It's a nice stem as well actually, good shape to it. Very comfortable bit, if I remember correctly. Oh, cool. Happy to hear that. AA. It's a good shop, the Cuban Cigar Club. I hope you told them that you saw the video on my channel. Okay, Rundog. Might try that. So what, I'll just dab some on a cloth and wipe off, and just wipe it until the layer comes off, till the carbon comes off, or whatever coating is on there. Pipe Man, thanks for your email, seeing that. Yeah, a Q-tip, anything like that should work fine. So what else has been going on, people? Any topics worthy of discussion? Any of you out there celebrate Passover? Well, Passover just ended tonight, earlier on. Which is why I was off for a couple of days. Oh, cool, Pipes and Spirits. Was that after seeing my video? Which one did you go for? Which design? Mm. That's always a bit of a gamble with street vendors. Sometimes they can be amazing. People who really put their own sort of slant on the blend, and they're really passionate about cigars. And you can also find just the street vendor selling dodgy cigars. You just never know. But I know that there's a lot of cigar blenders out there in Miami, Florida. I've never had the chance to go there myself to try them, but I hear a lot of good things about them. What would you compare it to in terms of a cigar that's well known? By the way, Pipes and Spirits, I wouldn't recommend that you use that lighter for pipes. Perhaps a rusticated one, but not a smooth one, because the flame is not ideally positioned. What size was that? Was that like a 6x52? Padron, right. So that's going to be quite pokey. Quite chocolatey, perhaps? Coffee? I aim to please. That sounds like a really good cigar there, Jim. I do find with a lot of non-Cuban cigars that they have great flavors, but they're very consistent from beginning to end with not a lot of development. So it's good to hear of one that transitions and moves over to some different flavors. I had a Padron 1926 Natural recently, and I did a video on it, but I didn't upload it because I wasn't happy with it. I think I've mentioned this already on one of my videos. I was very excited to smoke it because I tried for a while to get one, and this was the last one in the shop, and I was very, very disappointed with it. So much so that I came to the conclusion that there might have been something wrong with the cigar, so I didn't think it was fair to upload a video on it. Are there any Cuban cigars that you'd like to try, Jim? The short answer to that, Dwarven, is that although I've tried some, I don't smoke any of them regularly. So the short answer is no. Not because I wouldn't be, it's just that I haven't got enough experience. Well, Jim, I'm going to obviously return fire for your generous tobacco samples, so I'll send you a couple to have a try. Have you never smoked a Cuban cigar before? I'm just drinking a regular coffee tonight. Well, this morning it's 2 a.m. now. Yeah, I mean, the only drawback here is that they're stupidly expensive. Your average, I suppose in the US, probably the Toro is the most commonly smoked cigar, probably a 6x52. An average Cuban 6x52, perhaps a Pyramides, or even not a Pyramides shape, just a regular shape. You're looking at about between 20 and 25 pounds. So you're talking $30. Yeah, I've got some Cohibas. For sale, I only have the Robusto Supremos from 2014, and those are in my cigar sale still. I've got 2 boxes of those. I'm not a huge fan of their bread and butter ones. I can't say that I've smoked a huge range of them. I did smoke the Connecticut not long ago, and I did enjoy that actually. So perhaps I should be trying those. I'm not sure if it wasn't a Series O. It was just the Connecticut. It was like a Churchill size. It was very tasty actually. I'm glad you bought the milk frother. So many people have bought it after seeing my coffees, and they're all loving it. Over the Passover festival, one of the things that we change over is a lot of the utensils that we use for cooking. We use different utensils for Passover, depending on your level of orthodoxy. So one of the things that I've missed the most over the past week is my milk frother. As soon as the festival ended, I got it out of the cupboard and made my first frothy coffee for the last week or so, 8 days or so. But this one is not a frothy one, just a regular. The only thing with the frother is that you end up using a lot of milk, which, although I use semi-skimmed milk, it's still a lot of milk to consume if you use it every single time you have a coffee. Well, today weather was quite good. I mean, not summer or anything. A lot of froth, yeah. Yeah, definitely. It does heat the milk. You can cool the milk as well. It will froth it cold if you want it to. If you're doing, say, an iced coffee or something like that. I think you just have to press the button 3 times, I think. I've not done it that way, but I believe you can. Wrong end, twit. So what's everyone smoking tonight? Are we on pipes or cigars? That's a shame, Pipe Grump. John Cotton's, I've heard a lot of good things about John Cotton's. I did have some tins of that which I got a while back from Grandpa Cavendish, from Ed. But I've passed those on a long time ago. Pegasus, what is that? Is that in English? Nice, Briarbeard, how you doing? GLP is quite nice, a very nice English blend. Don't get on with Peterson's myself, but Virginia Burley, cool. I'm smoking the Savanilla 606, and I'm smoking some McClelland's 40th anniversary. It's quite a big bowl. These 606s take a lot of tobacco. They've got a really big bowl. I've got two of these. One is a Christmas one from 2015, I think it is, and I've smoked in that one pretty much exclusively Blood Red Moon. So that's always good for a long, just an easy sort of sweet treat every so often. Oh yeah, easily. I've been smoking this now. Well, we're going live 49 minutes now, and I'm maybe just past the halfway mark, and it wasn't full. It was about 3/4 full, not even, maybe just under 3/4 full, and I've still got half of that to go. I mean, this tobacco is probably slow smoking as well. It's lost a bit of the fullness of the flavour now as we get down the bowl, but very nice nonetheless. Yeah, Blood Red Moon. When I first started smoking with Hype, I was smoking that, I wouldn't say all day, but I was smoking that a lot. You know, with a lot of aromatics, a lot of them are goopy and very, very artificial. And Blood Red Moon is not really that different. But it's got a very, it's like, I don't know if you get Morello cherries in America, but that's what, to me, it's what it tasted like. It had that sweetness, but a little bit of tart from the cherry flavour, and that just made it interesting for me. And I just enjoyed it really, really a lot. I think I should have to dig some out. When I was going through all the vintage tobaccos to put in the sale, I noticed I've still got a tin or two of Blood Red Moon, so I might crack one. Yeah, I have some. Yeah, 320 would do it, definitely. Any tobacco that you want to get a fuller hit, 320 is going to do that for you. If you're into Latakias, English, Balkans, have the same effect. I haven't got a 320 at the moment. I did have one, but I gifted it to Amy Mack. Haven't seen a lot of her for a long time. She seems to have gone off the grid. Well, Moondog, if you like aromatics, I'm sure you'll enjoy that. Well, I didn't really want to be on tonight for hours and hours. It's gone 2 a.m. anybody got any particular questions or wanted to have any discussion of any particular topic, then now's the time. Otherwise, I think we'll wrap it up. I find that Cult Blood Red Moon has a bit of both, really. I think it's a nice experience. It's got a bit of tart and it's got plenty of sweetness. I do find it quite candyish, personally. How much were they selling it for, Moondog? Brybed, cool. You're starting to sound like Stephen Waters. Well, Jim, I'm really happy that you're feeling better now. I'm sorry that you were in a bad mood earlier. I was in a bit of a bad mood myself earlier on, but definitely feeling better now. I was talking earlier on about issues that I had with the rear road behind my house, but which caused me some frustration. But smoking a bowl with friends definitely makes a difference. Okie dokie. Guys, thanks very much indeed. Thanks Jim, thanks Moondog, Briarbeard, Pipes and Spirits, Jim. Who else have we got? AUK, Pipe Grump. Phil, if you're still there, you've been very quiet this evening. Pipeman 1958, Dwarven Piper. Guys, thanks all for sharing this time. Much enjoyed as always. And I will catch you on the next one.